conventional thinking or popular wisdom would be labeled and dealt with as criminals. My question for our legislators is who gets to decide what's a thought crime? Will the definition of thought crimes change from administration to administration? Will the people of this country be sentenced to death or merely imprisoned for questioning the conduct of their leaders in Washington? If signed into law, this piece of legislation will single-handedly strip Americans of the most essential birthright that we have, the freedom of conscious thought. The very foundation upon which our First Amendment is grounded is being uprooted at the core. H.R. 1955 sets the stage for the outlawing of protest of any kind in the United States and seeks to criminalize the very conception of thought itself. Any piece of legislation that seeks to invade and regulate the thoughts of the people of the United States needs to be booted out the front door of the Capitol building along with the person who introduced it. If you agree that your brain belongs to you, please join us in contacting the House of Representatives and voicing your opinion. Go to www.house.gov. Just enter your zip code and click Go to find your representative. Make sure to tell them that you oppose H.R. 1955, and the next time you see Representative Jane Harman, please tell her she's fired.
We're not mining or trolling through the personal lives of millions of innocent Americans.
With great power comes great responsibility. In Chicago, on July 21, 1944, Missouri Senator Harry Truman was tapped on the floor of the Democratic National Convention to join FDR as vice presidential running mate. 3.5 years into World War II, the duo was elected. After only 3 meetings with President Roosevelt, Truman was sworn in as president on April 12, 1945, following FDR's death. The independent Missouri native had virtually no foreign intelligence experience and had not even been briefed on the government's Manhattan Project, the creation of the atomic bomb. Within weeks, however, the gentleman farmer, Truman, had his finger on the proverbial button, launching the first nuclear attack in history. As the atomic presidency unfolded, Truman utilized supreme control over a nation's power structure when he oversaw the creation of the United Nations, the CIA, the National Security Council, and eventually what would become the National Security Agency. The NSA, or no such agency, was totally secret when Truman signed the order in 1952. The NSA has since grown to be the premier super-snooping intelligence agency in the world. The agency does not engage in wiretapping, so to speak, where you think of one person listening to a specific phone conversation. Au contraire, the NSA collects signals intelligence, or SIGINT. Basically, the NSA intercepts entire streams of electronic communications containing millions of phone calls, electronic communications, and emails, then runs all of the intercepts through very powerful computers and past very intelligent data analyzers. The NSA is one of the most secret and most secretive assets in the United States intelligence community. Housed at Fort Meade, Maryland, inside the Beltway, just minutes from Washington, D.C., is the NSA's Crypto City, which houses the nation's largest collection of the most powerful computers, the top tier of computer scientists, advanced mathematicians, and the best language experts in the world. This massive complex has unimaginable capabilities, literally vacuuming up millions of calls, compiling databases and phone calls and internet traffic. This spy agency was created by Truman in 1952 to gather foreign intelligence, but by the summer of love, they had acknowledged spying on domestic citizens, including civil rights leaders and peace activists. The NSA shared the information with its consumers, the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, and by 1969 saw Nixon use the Minaret program to produce a domestic watch list of 600 known and evidenced American citizens whose communications were monitored. The Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs and the Office of the Narcotics Coordinator, predecessor of the DEA, received NSA intercepts, which included New York City's Grand Central Station's payphones. After Watergate, and growing concerns of illegal executive spying on citizens, the Pike and Church committees in Congress attempted to reel in spying on Americans. Senator Frank Church of Idaho held executive hearings over the late summer and fall of 1975, and then held public hearings beginning October the 29th with the first ever public testimony by an NSA director. The hearings and subsequent congressional latitudes lead to the creation of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in 1978. FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, created a secret court. Yes, you heard correctly. FISA created a secret court. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court is a court that meets on the top floor of the Justice Department building. Its rulings are rarely published, and only the government has the right to petition these secret court proceedings. The judge in the secret court has no discretion to deny the request, and the recipient of the court's order is barred from telling anyone about the order except those necessary to its execution. So the government can get a secret warrant from a secret court in a secret building, and then it can get all of your secrets. Although the information is entirely secret, intelligence experts put the NSA on par with a Fortune 500 company. The government won't divulge NSA employee numbers, but estimates are more than 38,000 worldwide now work for the agency. The LA Times recently reported $43.5 billion is spent on the nation's intelligence. In keeping with requirements, Mike McConnell, the Director of National Intelligence, released intelligence spending figures. The figure represents spending on an array of intelligence activities, but the CIA and two other agencies account for the bulk of the budget. Those two agencies are the National Security Agency, which eavesdrops on phone calls and intercepts emails around the world, and the National Reconnaissance Office, which builds spy satellites. According to intelligence experts, these two agencies may account for as much as $10 billion each of the total spy budget. What would the NSA rank on Forbes? Just about on the same level as, say, an AT&T or perhaps a Verizon. You see, the NSA and one of its intelligence consumers, the FBI, have teamed up with these two major telecommunications corporations to spy on American citizens. There is strong evidence and compelling witness testimony that this is happening right now. The evidence is so strong, this matter is currently being litigated in the federal appellate courts. The fight is likely to end up before the nation's highest court.
I'm not going to comment on the article that appeared in USA Today yesterday. Let me say once again, though, that everything that the agency has done has been lawful, that the only purpose of the agency's activities is to preserve the security and the liberty of the American people.
The President has authorized a much more narrow program. Not under the program in which I'm testifying, that's right. So it is beyond the bound of the program which I'm testifying about today.
This very important program, the current program, this program, this program, this program, the program, programs, monitor the program. This